Here's a number that should stop every serious saver in their tracks. 40.7%. That's not a typo, and no, it's not the top tax bracket. It's the effective tax rate that can hit your 401k withdrawals in retirement, even if your actual bracket is only 22%. Most people have never heard of it, but if you've been doing exactly what you were told, maxing out your 401k year after year, this hidden tax could quietly take over $1,000 a month out of your retirement, money that should be yours. Here's the good news. Once you see how this works, you can fix it. And fixing it is not complicated. By the end of this video, you'll know the exact point where maxing out your 401k switches from the smartest move you can make to the most expensive. You'll see the real math, and you'll know exactly where to put your money instead, so you keep more of it. The part that surprises people most, it has nothing to do with your tax bracket. It has to do with a collision between three things the IRS does at the same time, and almost nobody connects the dots until it's too late. Quick note. I'm not a financial advisor or government employee. Everything here is for educational purposes only. For your specific situation, always check with a qualified professional. Let's get into it. The 40.7 tax you've never heard of. If you're within a few years of retirement, the questions change. It's not, am I saving enough anymore? It's, how do I pull from this money without giving half of it back? That's exactly what this is about. To understand the 40.7%, you need to see how three separate tax rules stack on top of each other. Rule number 1, required minimum distributions. Starting at age 73 or 75 if you were born in 1960 or later, the IRS forces you to pull money out of your traditional 401k and IRA every single year, whether you need it or not, and every dollar comes out taxed as ordinary income. Rule number 2, Social Security taxation. Here's what most people don't realize. Up to 85% of your Social Security check can become taxable, and the income thresholds that trigger it, they were set back in 1983 and 1993. They've never been adjusted for inflation, not once. For a married couple filing jointly, once your combined income, that's your adjusted gross income plus half your Social Security, crosses $44,000, up to 85% of your benefits get taxed. Now here's where the collision happens. Every dollar of forced 401k withdrawal, your RMD, counts as income. That income drags more of your Social Security into the taxable zone. So one extra dollar of 401k withdrawal can actually create $1.85 of taxable income. Let me say that again. $1 out, $1.85 taxable. At the 22% tax bracket, that means the effective rate on that dollar is 22% times 1.85. That's 40.7% on a single dollar. At the 24% bracket, it jumps to 44.4%. Rule number 3, IRMAA, the Medicare surcharge. If your income crosses certain thresholds, Medicare charges you extra. For a married couple in 2026, crossing $218,000 in income triggers roughly $2,300 a year in surcharges. And here's the twist. It uses your income from 2 years earlier. So a big 401k withdrawal in 2026 hits your Medicare bill in 2028. Now think about what happens when all three rules fire at once. Your RMD forces money out. That pushes Social Security into the taxable zone. The combined income triggers IRMAA.
And you never asked for any of it. The IRS made the withdrawal for you. That's the 40.7%. And smart people approaching retirement, the ones who save the most, are the ones it hits the hardest. So the real question becomes, how big does your 401k need to be before this becomes your problem? What your 401k actually looks like at 73. Let's make this real. Say you're 60 right now. You've got $900,000 in your traditional 401k, and you plan to retire at 65. You stop contributing at 65. You don't touch the money, you just let it sit and grow. At 6% average annual growth, here's what happens. By age 65, that $900,000 becomes about $1.2 million, still growing. By age 73, when the IRS says you have to start pulling money out, it's roughly $1.47 million. Now, here's where the IRS math kicks in. At 73, the government divides your balance by 26.5. That's the factor from the Uniform Lifetime Table. So let's do the math together. 1.47 million divided by 26.5. That's about $55,500. That's your first required withdrawal, taxed as ordinary income, whether you need the money or not. And here's what catches people off guard. That number doesn't stay flat, it grows. Look at that. At 73, the IRS takes 3.8% of your balance. By 85, it takes 6.25%. The percentage goes up every single year, and because 6% growth roughly replaces what you withdraw, the balance barely shrinks, so the dollar amount of the forced withdrawal keeps climbing. By 85, you're pulling out almost $109,000 a year before you collect a single dollar of Social Security, before a pension, before any other income. Now stack Social Security on top. Say you and your spouse collect a combined $40,000 a year. Add that to a $109,000 RMD, you're looking at $149,000 in taxable income. That puts you firmly in the 24% bracket, well into the Social Security tax torpedo zone, and potentially above the first IRMAA cliff. And remember, you started with just $900,000, not $2 million, not $5 million, $900,000. Before I show you the fix, take a guess. What percentage of 401k plans actually offer the option that solves this? Think about it. I'll give you the answer in a minute. The myth that costs you $1,200 a month. Here's the myth. Your tax rate will be lower in retirement than it is right now, so always maximize your pre-tax 401k. You've heard it 1,000 times. It sounds logical. You earn more now, you'll earn less later, so defer the taxes to later. Here's the truth. For disciplined savers with balances above roughly $800,000 in pre-tax accounts, this assumption often falls apart completely. And it falls apart because of the three-way collision we just walked through. The 22% bracket you think you'll be in, the tax torpedo turns it into 40.7% effective. Add state taxes in some states, and you're looking at 50% or more on every extra dollar. Now, I want to be clear about something important. This does not apply to everyone. The median 401k balance for Americans aged 55 to 64 is $96,000. For someone at that level, maxing out pre-tax is probably still the right call.
This applies to you if your pre-tax retirement accounts, all of them combined, are north of roughly $800,000 and still growing. If that's you, the old advice has an expiration date, and most people don't realize they've passed it. Smart people approaching retirement don't keep following advice that stopped working. They adjust. So what does adjusting actually look like? The 3-account pivot. Here's where we turn this around, and it starts with one rule. Never stop collecting your employer match. That's free money. Even if the match lands in a pre-tax bucket, the return is too good to leave on the table. But everything above the match, that's where the pivot happens. You redirect those dollars into 3 places that don't create future RMDs or feed the tax torpedo. Account number 1, the Roth 401k. Here's the answer to my question from earlier. 86% of employer plans now offer a Roth 401k option, but only 18% of workers actually use it. That means there's a good chance your plan already has this option, and you might not even know it. After this video, log in and check. The Roth 401k has the same contribution limit as the traditional, $24,500 in 2026 or $32,500 if you're 50 or older. But here's the difference. You pay tax on the money going in. In return, it grows tax-free, comes out tax-free, and, this is critical, as of 2024, Roth 401k accounts no longer have required minimum distributions. Every dollar that goes into a Roth 401k is a dollar that will never show up as forced taxable income at 73. It doesn't trigger Social Security taxation, it doesn't trigger IRMAA, it's invisible on your return. If you're between 60 and 63, you also get the super catch-up. That's up to $35,750 in total 401k contributions for 2026. Account number 2, the HSA. If you have a high-deductible health plan, the HSA is the only account in America with a triple tax advantage. Money goes in tax-free, it grows tax-free, and it comes out tax-free for qualified medical expenses, with no time limit on reimbursement. In 2026, the limit is $8,750 for family coverage, plus a $1,000 catch-up if you're 55 or older. That's $9,750 total for a couple where both spouses have their own HSA. After 65, you can use HSA funds for anything, medical or not. Non-medical withdrawals just get taxed as ordinary income, no penalty. Worst case, it works like a traditional IRA. Best case, it covers healthcare tax-free for the rest of your life. Account number 3, the taxable brokerage account. This one doesn't get nearly enough attention, and honestly, for people approaching retirement, it might be the most flexible account you can own. No contribution limits, no age restrictions, no required minimum distributions, no forced withdrawal schedule. And here's the real advantage. Long-term capital gains in a taxable account get preferential rates. In 2026, a married couple can realize up to $98,900 in long-term gains and pay zero federal tax on them. 0% on almost $100,000 of gains. That makes the brokerage account the perfect tool for the gap years between retirement and 73. You fund spending from it while keeping your taxable income low. You let Social Security delay and grow, and you use the headroom for Roth conversions. Quick question before we move on. Have you checked whether your 401k plan offers a Roth option? Yes or no? Drop it in the comments. I read every single one. You might be surprised what you find. The window that closes at 73. So now you know where the money goes, but there's one more piece, and it's the move that separates people who pay 40% from people who pay 12%. It's called the Roth conversion window, and for most people, it opens the day you retire and closes the day your first RMD hits. Here's how it works. During the years between retirement and age 73, your income usually drops. No paycheck, maybe no Social Security yet if you're delaying the 70. Your taxable income could be close to zero. That's the window. Those low-income years are the cheapest years you'll ever have to move money from your traditional 401k or IRA into a Roth IRA. Let me walk through the math. In 2026, a married couple gets a standard deduction of $32,200. That means you can convert up to about $133,000 total and stay inside the 12% bracket. Push to about $239,000 and you stay inside 22%. Now compare that. You can voluntarily convert at 12 or 22% now, or you can wait and be forced to withdraw at 40.7% effective later. Every dollar you move to Roth before 73 shrinks every single future RMD, and it shrinks them permanently. Two things to watch. 1. IRMAA uses income from 2 years prior, so a big conversion in 2026 hits your Medicare premium in 2028. Stay below the cliff. In 2026, that's $218,000 for a married couple. 2. If you're already collecting Social Security, conversions increase your provisional income and can trigger more Social Security taxation. Run the numbers or work with a planner to stay in the sweet spot. If someone you know is within 10 years of retirement and has been maxing out their 401k without thinking twice, send them this video right now. This is the stuff that saves real money. Your 5-minute retirement check. So let's bring this together with a simple check you can do today. Step 1. Add up every dollar you have in pre-tax retirement accounts, traditional 401k, traditional IRA, SEP IRA, all of it. Step 2. Project that balance forward to age 73 using a reasonable growth rate. 6% is a common starting point. Step 3. Divide that projected balance by 26.5. That's your estimated first-year RMD. Step 4. Add your estimated Social Security income, both spouses if you're married. Step 5. Look at where that total lands on the 2026 tax bracket chart. If your projected RMD plus Social Security puts you in the 22% bracket or higher, you've likely passed the sweet spot. That means additional pre-tax contributions today are adding to a future tax problem, not solving one. And that's the moment to pivot. Keep the match, redirect everything else to Roth, HSA, and brokerage. Here's the line I want you to remember. The advice that builds your wealth is not always the advice that protects it. Smart people approaching retirement know when to switch. That's the whole thing. That's the retirement sweet spot. If someone you care about has been maxing out their 401k without thinking twice, send them this video. It could save them thousands every single year in retirement. Now, I want to hear from you. Have you already started shifting to Roth, or are you still going all pre-tax? Tell me in the comments. If you're building income from your investments and want to stay ahead of changes like this, subscribe to this channel and hit the bell so you don't miss what's coming next.